So I'm happy today. I have somebody who I admire, who I get to do life with, and who I've learned a lot from. But I want to have you guys learn from him too on Next Chapter Conversations. Here we have the man of the hour, Aaron Aikens. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me on the podcast. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
It's a
He
blessing. The same thing. Let me say this to you. And it's my brother right here, brother from another, and it's just great to do life with you, brother.
Oh man, I'm on. It's one thing to talk to Aaron, but I want you guys to hear how something that I've always admired about him is how he can make the decisions. And we all know when you make decisions as a man or decisions just in general, there's usually things behind the decision that's made. Like no one just comes out and they're just super brave or super risk taker. So we're gonna uncover that today. So a question I have for you is before you made, let's say, your last big decision, whatever that was, what was the conversation in your head prior to that?
That's a great question. Before I made the last big decision, I would say a number of things. I would say one, part of the conversation was, it's just time for a new beginning. It's time for a new beginning. Just feeling like I'm no longer passionate about what I was doing, and nothing's gonna change unless I do something.
Mm.
And unless I kind of do something radical, drastic, so to speak. So it's like, and I've been pondering it for a while. So it was like, you know what? I need a new beginning. I need like a reset. That was the conversation. I need a reset, and I have to make a move. Like it's not going to happen automatically.
So you said something. You said you've been pondering it for a while. What? Do you mind telling them the last big decision you made?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So my last big decision was switching careers. So I was formerly a teacher, an educator in the school system. I've been doing that for a while.
A good while.
Yeah, yeah. So
Half your life.
yeah, yeah, yes, sir. I started about 17 years ago. I started in the learning center in Virginia. I was working at the learning center, and then about 2 years after that, I got like an official quote unquote teaching job. But it's been like 17 years, ups and downs. But in the last, I would say 3 years, even to be honest, in the last 3 years, I've been feeling like it's time for a new beginning. It's time for like a new, like a change in my career. And 3 years ago, I almost did switch, but I also had another transition going on. Me and my family, we moved to another state.
So you're pondering this decision 3 years ago.
Right.
You almost pulled the trigger, but then you have another transition happening, which is moving out of state.
Correct.
So how do you mentally stay sane to say I'm gonna stick with this while going through another transition, which moving is just as big, if not sometimes bigger. How do you mentally stay sane during that time?
That's a great question. I would say, one, like just being a man of faith. This prayer, and prayer is like big for me.
Brother can pray. I tell you that, brother can pray.
Yeah. So and the prayer just helps me. It helps me be centered, be anchored, be centered. You know what I mean? And when emotions like rise and fall and do what they do, emotions in terms of like, but I'm able to be centered if I'm staying in a place of prayer, connected with the Lord. But also too, just talking to people, you know what I mean? Like brothers as yourself and other people, just getting other perspectives more than just being in my own head. So I try not, every transition that I've done, I try not to do it in isolation.
Whoa!
But yeah.
Stay there. What unpack that? What do you mean by that? You try not to do it in isolation when men are usually, it's not a word, but isolators.
Right. So I will say this. So one, not that I'm telling everybody, because I've done that before, where it's like you tell everybody, and this creates a lot of confusion because there's so many different opinions. But just having like a trusted core of people that I'm close with, that I'm sharing with, you know what I mean? And I'm just being open to them and just getting their feedback, you know, and getting their feedback, hearing from them, hearing their take, and they may share something that I may not see. But also, too, it's like even when I may bump up against some discouragement, it's like, you know what I mean? Those people can really bring encouragement as well.
So are you using not doing it in isolation more so for you to be supported as a man or as like a leader?
Yeah, I would say support it because it's like, well, we as men, we need community. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you go back to the first book of the Bible, Genesis, it talks about it's not good for man to be alone, and it's like that's not just about like having a woman or a wife, but it's just like we're created to be in a community, even as men. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to answer that question, it's like to be supported and not do it alone, and not try to go it alone and do it alone. But
how did you come to the conclusion that I need to start having people to support me to make decisions? Like, was that always how you were, or did you come to the conclusion one day like, hey, I can't keep doing this by myself? Now, I'm asking that because I have not always been that way.
Right. That's a great question. So as you asked, I'm reflecting on different decisions. Yeah, I would say for the most part, I have been that way. Yeah, I have been that way because I'm a relational guy, and I mean I'm also open. You know what I'm saying? So just opening up to brothers and stuff that are trusted in my circle. So it's just being able to share with them like I'm thinking about this, doing this. You know what I mean? Like I mean I got different examples in my head right now. You know what I mean?
Give us one.
Yeah. So I'll say, for example, I'll go past and I'll go current. So past is, in fact, I wrote about this in a LinkedIn post yesterday, but 13 years ago, 2000, well, actually even longer than 13, because I moved 13 years ago from Virginia to New York. But like 2011, 2012, I was pondering on moving. You know what I mean? And at the time, it's like I had a job, my first teaching job. I had a house, actually all to myself, like a house, and it was ridiculous because I was paying like $300 a month. You know what I mean? It was a blessing. It was like a good setup.
You're like, bro, if we had that set up again.
yeah, you know what I mean? But when I started feeling the tug and the pull, you know what I'm saying? Of course, like just taking it to the Lord in prayer, fasting. But I shared it with some brothers, you know what I'm saying? And people I was close to. And I just shared with them like, I'm thinking about moving. And yeah, they kind of walked with me during it. And it wasn't a lot of people, but it was some people that I shared it with, and they kind of walked with me like during that time. Even as I'm speaking, I'm remembering a brother in my head who he had came to visit me at my house, and like we were just talking. He was a little bit older than me, and I was kind of sharing with him, and he was talking with me and just giving me encouragement. You know what I'm saying? Like giving me encouragement. So I would say that. And then even moving into current. So current, like you said, I'm leaving teaching, being a teacher, and I'm moving into tech sales. And same thing, I've shared it with like a few people. But just the encouragement, you know what I'm saying? The encouragement to even make bold moves of faith. You know what I'm saying? Even like you being one of those brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like encouragement to, and also not just encouragement, but let me also say this: accountability.
So what does that mean to a man?
Yeah. So I mean, I'll give an example. Like I said, even I had specifically with you and another brother, two that's coming to my mind right now. I think this was the end of last year. I'm talking about 2025, and both of y'all was encouraging me to even write my letter of resignation. You know what I'm saying? Even though I didn't submit it then, I mean, I had the conversation that I was moving on in May with my supervisors. You know what I mean? But even the accountability to even just write it, you know what I'm saying? There's also not encouragement, not only encouragement, but accountability. So it looks like if I said I'm going to do something, what steps are you taking, or what steps am I taking that are heading in that direction? You see what I'm saying? Because I mean, in isolation, you can want to do something, but if no human being, right? No human being is checking up on you, asking you questions. You know what I'm saying? That stuff you can just kind of let that go and let that be. You know what I mean? So I think you need another human being to be asking you questions, and not to say like they're like I got you or something, but like that. I mean, just holding you accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like what steps? There's a lot of transitions require a lot of steps. You know what I'm saying? Require a lot of steps. You know what I mean? So it's like one job I worked in education. I learned how to do a project plan. But with the project plan, it's like there's a lot of steps to that plan. You know what I mean? And things got to be done by certain dates. So just having another human being ask you like, oh, how are you doing with this step? How are you doing with this step? Rather than being in isolation, and it's like you give up and you don't, right? Either you don't make that move, you know what I'm saying, or you make it's delayed. You know what I'm saying? It could have been done in a year, and now you're doing it in 5 years.
What you said something that we know it as humans, but I don't think we look at it when someone else is doing the decision making. That no one decision is one decision. There's usually small ones that led up to it,
right?
But there's usually feelings that happen too. Like, what were you feeling to say, hey, I'm about to hang up 17 years of doing this thing and go towards something unknown while I'm leading a family? Like, what feelings came up when you made that decision?
That's a great question about what feelings. Even as men, well, I'll speak for myself. It's like I need to. That's something that we have to work on as men, to be more emotionally aware of what's going on inside of us, like what feelings. So a number of feelings, like I was some positive, some negative. You know what I'm saying? So
what are the negative ones?
Yeah, frustration, where it's like I'm in the job, you know what I'm saying, but it's just like, man, just feeling like frustrated with this a lot, where it's like I feel like I had grace for more stuff in prior years, but it's like now a lot of the least thing is just frustrating me about the job. You know what I'm saying? It is so frustration, and almost sometimes, to be transparent, almost sometimes like boredom, where it's just like not feeling like challenged. You know what I mean? The feeling of just boredom, like not feeling challenged. Feeling, I'm trying to see what's the feeling word for this, you know what I'm saying? But like not feeling the significance, you know what I mean? And it was a noble, I mean, I was doing a noble job, but just not feeling like the significance of the work, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like the meaningfulness of the work, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and then also too, just feelings of being overwhelmed. So it's like
with the job, or with where it was leading to.
I would say it was a mixture of things. Just because the season of life, you know, I mean, life just like in like with the weather, we got different seasons. You know what I'm saying? So there's different just seasons of our life. So this the current season that I'm in. You know what I mean? I have 2 younger kids now, 4 and like 19 months. So it's just like
different season.
And yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? My wife. So it's just like it's just a different season, and compared to, let's say, when I was by myself, where it's just like, oh, my time is just my time. You know what I mean? Like, man, I used to stay at the building wherever. I mean, sometimes just like late. A lot of times just late. There's long hours. You know what I'm saying? And I come home and it's my time. Or even when I first got married, it's just me and my wife. You know what I mean? No children. So it's just like, and that was still a different season.
You had kids in there, it's a different ball game.
Right. So being overwhelmed, that was another feeling where it's like, this is not sustainable anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know there's stability in terms of like this check's coming in every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like I'm trying to like project out and look ahead, and it's like, no, this is not sustainable, because it's like, I mean, if I could keep it a stack, you know, I keep it a buck, it's like something's getting cheated. You know what I'm saying? And then after a while, it became,
Let me write that down.
But after a while, you know what I'm saying, I'm just keeping it a stack. You know what I'm saying? It became my job that was getting cheated. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I come home, it's like I'm on the job as a father, as a husband, and it's like not really having time to do things outside of work. And I was kind of in the line of work with teaching. I mean, any teacher would know. You know what I'm saying? You could do some work, quote unquote, in your planning time, but that time is not even enough to do everything that has to be done.
I have a question.
But it's like,
this hit me hard. You said something is getting cheated. Was it more so the job was getting cheated, or the future Aaron is getting cheated?
I would say both. I would say, I would say both. So like the job, I mean, that was the thing that was right in front of me, that it's like I said, it's like I'm struggling on the job. You know what I'm saying? I'm behind a lot. Because it's like I'm tending to my family and my wife. But yeah, I would also say the future me. You know what I mean? Because to be honest, I just reflecting, I maybe could have made this move before. You know what I mean? Before, maybe even a year before. So it's just like I could have maybe. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying 100%, but maybe I could have already been in a different situation. You know what I'm saying? Set up with like my employment and just everything, and how then I could have been in that maybe last year, so to speak, you know, because even at the end of last year, I thought about switching, you know what I mean? But I didn't feel like I was organized. I didn't feel like I had like a clear direction of maybe what I was going to pivot into. So I felt, to answer your question, both the job and the future, my future self.
So what almost stopped you from making the decision? Like you mentioned, you said something was getting cheated, your job or the future you know, you felt it was time to move on. But like, what almost made you not make the decision?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say just security. I say security, meaning like I said before, like every 2 weeks the check is coming in. You know what I'm saying? And now it's no longer me, but like I have a wife and 2 kids. So it's just like I have, and then like I said, I mean, I'm gonna keep it like all the way funky. It's like, I mean, we going through tight times, even financially. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with a lot of financial hurdles right now. You know what I'm saying? So already behind the 8 ball in that arena. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's in the back of my mind constantly. So yeah, I mean, like I said, a year before I almost pulled the trigger in terms of moving on. But it's like, all right, I don't even know exactly what I'm going to go into. And it's just like, I can't do it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still need to have this money coming in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, security was one of the biggest ones. Like, all right, the security of having checks coming in every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Stable job. So that, you know what I'm saying? So, and then also security in the other corner of that is just fear. You know what I mean? The fear of lack.
Yeah.
The fear of failure. You know what I'm saying? Fear of lack, fear of failure. So meaning, speaking to it now, because I made the decision. You know what I'm saying? I made the decision. And it's like I'm knocking on doors for the new career I'm going into. You know, but there's challenges with that. You know what I mean? Because it's not, like I said, speaking in the present moment, because I'm living it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had different transitions, but I'm living this right now. So it's like I've left one job. You know what I'm saying? Like I cut the cord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Compared to like I could have been there and just whenever something open, whatever time of year, it's like let's say December, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like there's not a lot of overlap in terms of with money. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Mm.
so I would say living it now, like I said, dealing with and and those fears come up where it's like, man, what if something don't open up? You know what I'm saying? The next month, you know what I'm saying? And like, what if something doesn't open up? You know what I'm saying? And what do I do? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? What do I do? So, but I'm in it right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the water right now as we speak, like
That's what
live. You know what I'm saying?
that's
Like
that's
live.
that's why I wanted to make sure I had you on the show now, because we usually hear like, like the Abraham story when he's like when
Right.
he becomes Abraham,
Right.
or
Right. Right.
like, but we also don't realize he was never broke when he left.
Right.
Like,
Right.
but we're talking to now, like people nowadays who are making real decisions with fear, uncertainty, and all of that. And you're saying, in spite of all the uncertainty, all the fear, all the knowing that I will have a check every 2 weeks, I still made this decision. And that's not just remarkable, but it's a bold act of faith too, because most people would be like, why, I'm not going to do that. Like, I should just stay at this job and just keep taking the hits for another year. But like something inside of you must have known like that this has to be it. Like looking back, if you look back at yourself maybe a year or 2 years ago, what would have been advice you would have given yourself to make the decision?
Yeah. Good question. I would say, what advice would I give myself to make the decision? I would say number one is you just have to move. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Meaning that you have to make movement. You got to take action. You got to take action. Um, two, I would say you have to at least get some kind of and this is a good question. This is a good question. What would I have told myself? And that's why I'm like pondering. What would I have told myself a year ago? I was like I said, one, you got to take the action in terms of making the move. Um, two, like it kind of connects to one. It's like sometimes there's never gonna be a quote unquote the right time.
Yeah, let me write that down.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, there's never gonna be like the right time where all the conditions uh are lined up. You know what I'm saying? I know some people use that term like, oh, the stars have aligned. You know what I'm saying? Like
You're right.
everything ain't gonna be aligned. You know what I'm saying? Like pristine and perfect. You know what I'm saying? So everything's not gonna be perfect. Um, and then also too, it's like one thing that I'm telling even that this just came to me right now. It's like things may not be open for things. Maybe they may not transpire as you may have one thing in your mind, right? But meaning it may be a broader God may have something even broader for you. I'll put it like that. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So it's like, you know what, like and it's a specific example. I'll give a specific example. I'll use an example to be concrete. So it's like I'm pivoting into tech sales, um, to be a sales development representative, and I'm to grow from there. Um, but also, you know, what I mean, I'm also open. You know what I'm saying? That it's like if that's not the thing that opens up, you know what I'm saying? If something else opens up, it's like I'm now open, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna walk through that door. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna walk through that, even though I've thought for some months now, for some time, that this is because I mean I've taken a course on this, and I've talked to different people, and I'm looking in this area. Um, but if it be something else, you know, I mean, that opens up, you know what I mean? I'm open now, so I would tell myself, it's like, you know what? Kind of like be broad and like have a direction you're going in, but be flexible.
Flexible, yeah. It
Maybe
made
be
me
flexible.
it made me think of similar this morning. I was wrestling with something around 4 a.m. in my head, and I was like, "What if you just go the direction and be
Right.
okay if that's not the final destination? Like that just might be the thing to get you to start
Right.
moving
Right.
in that
Right. And then that,
direction."
right. And I think that's something that not just with men, but I get as men, it's like we can get caught up. What's the term?
Yeah,
The paralysis
that's
of
my
analysis.
analysis, man. One of
You know what
my
I'm saying?
bane of my existence.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Where it's like you said, it's like, I got to know exactly, you know what I'm saying? I know you referred to Abraham, but it's like Abraham, the Bible says he stepped out in faith, not even knowing where he was going.
Well,
You know,
yo,
he
well,
didn't,
but stay there for a second. Like we people who have heard the story of Abraham, if you're listening to this and you haven't heard the story of Abraham, like go read it in Genesis 12. God asked him to leave a country that he knew. He was very, very rich. He had servants, like over 300 servants, and a wife. And God tells him, go leave this country to another country. I'm not going to tell you where. Just leave. And he does it while leading all of those people without a concrete answer. I'm like, bro, like it's hard for me to make a decision, and I only have a wife and 2 kids.
right.
So it's like, why is that so hard for us as men?
Yeah, you're right. I think, I mean, one, in uncertainty, I think as men, we like to, know, you know what I'm saying? Like we like to know. So it's like, for example, let's say we go to like do a volunteer job. You know what I'm saying? We want to know like A, B, C, D, E, F. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Even before we go and volunteer for something, we want to know. You know what I'm saying? I think as men, like we like to know. Um, we like clarity. You know what I'm saying?
You think it's wrapped up in some parts of fear?
Yeah. I think right, because it's like sometimes it's like we want to control the situation. So it's like if I can't control the situation, then it's like I'm not in control. You know what I'm saying? And like
Right.
God is in
Well,
control.
and like
You know what
if
I'm
I'm
saying?
not in control, anything
Right.
could happen.
Right. Right.
Not
Right.
even be death. It can just be somebody find
Right.
out I don't know how to do something.
Right. But it's interesting though, talking about that I'm not in control. That this came to me where it's like, but I think as men, that's why I think also reflection is so important when it comes to making moves and stepping out, stepping into new chapters of life. We got to reflect because I know as men we've all encountered different heavy situations that have caused us to be like, man, we're not in. They've shown us, you know what I mean? Like as a man, if you live long enough, you know what I'm saying? Something's gonna hit you in life that will let you know in your face you are not in
You are
control.
not in
You are
control.
not in control. Something's gonna hit you. You know what I'm saying?
A couple
So
things gonna hit
reflecting
you.
on, you know, right? You know what I'm saying? So, so it's like knowing that, reflecting on those instances when things hit you in the gut, and it's like, man, oh man, I'm not in control. You
I'm
know what
not
I'm
in
saying?
control.
So knowing that, it's like, all right, so we just have to like accept that. You know what I'm saying? That we can't control everything. You know, we can't control
Mm.
everything as men, and so connected to like if I got to make a move and you know what I'm saying, and stepping into something, it's like I can't control. It's only certain things I can control. You know what I'm saying? But let me control what I can control, and then I got to leave the rest to God. You know what
And
I'm
that
saying?
and that,
And also get help. You know what I mean?
I think you said can help. I think one of the main things um you guys don't know Aaron yet, but he's somebody who I think probably I think if I haven't had Aaron in my life probably the last 3 years, probably the last 2 years we started talking way more and more transparent, be more transparent. If I didn't have him, there were certain decisions I wouldn't have made because the fear was too real.
Mm.
The risk seemed too real. And there was no, like you said earlier, there was nobody. It's different when someone's holding you accountable, but it's different when someone's holding you accountable and they're encouraging you at the same
Right.
time. Like
Right.
it
Right.
too,
Right. Right.
like you can get somebody to be like, hey, stop punking out, stop be a man. Like
Right.
It's like, bro, I'm all man, bro. Like, don't test me, bro.
Right.
But I know, first, there's certain decisions I wouldn't have made, and secondly, I wouldn't have had, like you said, I wouldn't have been as flexible to think broader about the decision because now I had a sounding board, or I had somebody who had done something that I hadn't done. And I think as men, as people who are making decisions, moving on to the next chapters of closing chapters, it's vital that you have somebody around you who can hold you accountable, but who can root for you along the way.
Right.
I think that's huge. So like you saying all of that is huge because people, like when people see a year from now, 3 years from now, and you become a millionaire, they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's so easy." And you're like,
"Nah, you're right." And then I just have to reciprocate that in regards to like you've been a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like even like I said in this transition that I just recently made from teaching going into tech sales. You know what I mean? You and just some other brothers along the way. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just trying to recall all the different times that. Man, just hearing your voice messages, you know what I'm saying, your prayers and stuff like that, and just like you said, encouraging and accountability at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think it's necessary. I just had to plug this in that men have to do life with other men. You know what I'm saying? Because me, like you said, like you made a transition recently. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I was able to be an encouragement, you know what I'm saying? And then I was in a transition after that.
Keep me sane.
Right. And be sane, right. You
know? To wrap up, I'm definitely gonna have Aaron on the show again because he has so much knowledge and a lot of areas to share. But if you could give a man or even a person who's like in that stage of like, should I make the jump? It could be career, relationships, whatever. What advice would you give them?
That's a great question. And I would say to that man, we have to look at how, and I mean, I'm kind of go a little deep here. I don't want to say also philosophical, but it's like you gotta remember back in Wu-Tang back in the day, man. Philosophies, man. But
as soon as you said
it, oh, your mind went there, man. Man, different generations, you know what I'm saying? Different generations.
I saw the video of him on the wall.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, thinking about the brevity, the shortness of life. You know what I'm saying? How life is short. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like for real, we're not. And I know our default mentality might be like we just have forever, but we don't. You know what I'm saying? There's people who die young. You know what I mean? And like, in their 20s, even. You know what I'm saying? So, considering the brevity of life. And it's like, you know what, like, man, like, do I want to be living in regret? You know what I'm saying? I think you, as a man, you have to ask yourself, like, do I want to be living in regret? You know what I'm saying? Because I do think sometimes that if I feel like, you know, I mean, different chances or opportunities do present themselves like a lot. But I do feel like sometimes some things can pass us by. You know what I'm saying? If you've been delaying for too long. You know what I'm saying? And then like now you're 55, you know what I'm saying? As a man, you're 55 and it's like you're living this with constant regret. Like, I wish I would have done this when I was like 25.
Man.
Or when I was 28 or 30 or 35. You know what I mean? I wish I would have done this. And like, and that regret, that thing can eat you up. You know what I'm saying? That thing can eat you up. So I think just looking at the brevity of life and looking at like, if I fast forward, do I want to live with this regret? You know what I mean? Do I want to live with like, man, what could have been? You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of men, there's men, you know, I mean, I'm 42, but there's men like even 42, you know, but even older, where it's like they live with regret. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, it's almost like that regret can contribute to like their demise. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
Yeah.
either they're still living, but it's like they're not living because it's just like, you know what, this regret is so strong. It just now leads to depression, and then it can lead to other addictions. So now I'm a lose myself and whatever addiction you name the addiction. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mm.
retreating. So I would say looking at, you know what, like I don't want to live with regret. That's the negative side, but it's like, man, I want to live a meaningful life. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Men have a desire for greatness, a desire for greatness, desire for significance. And I'm not saying talking about I'm gonna be on TV or I'm gonna be like famous. I have even a big platform, but knowing that I'm doing work that's significant. I'm doing work that moves
Yeah.
the needle, no matter how big it seems on the outside. But I'm doing work that's significant. It moves the needle. It's impacting other people in a powerful way. You know what I'm saying? And then men just have that in us. You know what I'm saying? And so when we're not doing that, the life is just dead. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and then that's how, I mean, we get caught up in a thousand distractions. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you have,
Vices. Yeah.
right. You know what I'm saying? But even some of the things are good things. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I love sports. You know what I mean? I'm a big football guy. You know what I'm saying? But to say that sometimes men who are not, because it's like I didn't make the move, but it's like, okay, now I'm gonna get lost in football. You know what I'm saying? And like now I'm a football fanatic. You know what I'm saying? So like all your
Mm.
time is you go to work. You know what I'm saying? You go to work and then yeah, I'm following football all year round. You know what I'm saying? Like football is my
Yeah.
life, or football, basketball, or you fill in the blank. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got video games. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but then like, I mean, you're at your, and I'm not saying it's just a job. I'm just using this example. Like you're at a job, and it's like I'm gonna just live this humdrum life, man. For like I'm gonna just keep. I mean, just check in, and you know what I'm saying. You look up, it's December, and you know what I'm saying, and it's because we're already halfway through
Halfway to
2026.
2026. Yeah. Seven
You know what
months
I'm
in.
saying, and it just started. You know what I mean? So I would say that to men is like on the negative side, you want to look at the brevity of life, how life is short, and how I don't want to live with regret. And on the positive end, it's like I want to do something meaningful, purposeful, something that's significant with my life. You know what I'm saying? That yeah, on the positive end, so it's like make the move, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
this move is something in that direction to do something meaningful and significant. And just to say this too, like I said, I'm not saying significant, like I'm not talking about being a celebrity or, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, or being
Yeah.
known on a big platform or something like that. I'm just talking about like, we know as men when we're doing something, we do things that are meaningful. You know what I'm saying? I'm making an impact on one person, on 5 people, on 50 people, you know what I'm saying? And even if it's not like a widely publicized, but I know that I'm in the right vein, you know what I'm saying? I know that I'm
Um,
you know what I'm saying? So, and, so considering all that, it's like, all right, make the move, you know what I'm saying?
make the
Whether it's like,
move.
whether it's a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And like, instead of living in fear, like, whether it's reconciling a relationship or trying to start one, you know what I'm saying? Or whether it's career, or whether it's like even making a move to break off an addiction. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Making a move where it's
Yeah.
like you've been in that addiction for so long and it seems comfortable, but it's like, do you want to live with the regret like of being in that thing for 50 years? And it's like, man, it's only destroying you more and more. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's keeping that whatever that thing is. You know what I mean? Fill in the blank. But it's like, you know what? Let me break free from this because of you know what I mean, the impact and the greatness that I can pursue you know what I'm
Mm.
saying, when I don't have this thing hanging on me, you know what I'm saying? I don't have this thing hanging on me.
If I had a whiteboard to draw this conversation to almost wrap it up in three things, is it would be number one, every decision will never feel 100% comfortable. The,
True.
the second one would be you have to ask yourself, if I don't make this decision, what's going to be cheated? Like, that was real
Mm,
powerful. What's going to be
mm,
cheated? And then
mm.
the third one would be
That's good.
the third one would be just make the move. And I think sometimes sometimes I suffer with this. I could calculate things so much that I don't make the move. And I just spend like tons of time brainstorming, calculating to the point where it's like, yo, you just, if it's a bad move, make it right.
Right.
Like, or now I just started telling myself to help myself is if it's a bad move, it's going to be a banging podcast episode. But just to not to get caught in the paralysis by analysis. But if I summed it up into those three things, that's how I would see it. So, guys, Aaron got up early this morning for me to do this. I don't take anyone's time, especially his time, lightly. So I'll make sure that you guys can follow him. You guys can learn from him. The next time we have him on here, Aaron's an amazing. I don't know if he considers himself this, but an apologist. He's an evangelist. He knows the word of God, prayer, all that stuff. And I definitely think people should hear about how do you approach new seasons when it comes to the spiritual as well. When I say spiritual, I mean Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, not any.
Right. You got to clarify that.
We're not
2026, right?
We're not chakra anything. It's just
and spirits, man, and
it's none of that.
It's the ancestors.
We're not calling up anything from the ground or from the past at all. But I want to get him on there for that. So, Aaron, thank you very much, my man. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Just in the real talk. Thank you for having me on. I was excited. Real talk, man. I've been excited all week when you told me, man. I've been excited to get on, and it's a privilege. Like real talk, it's a privilege to get on and even have this conversation because it's also even helping me. I'm like, I got to go back and listen, because I know I'm saying this, but you know how it is in the transition. It's like you have to be reminded daily of the things that even you know what I'm saying? You got to be reminded daily. So thank you for just allowing me to have this conversation on your podcast. And I really appreciate you, brother.
Amen.